Alright, Secret Window, in-depth horror discussion review, part 4. Alright, so freaking we left off with him dumping. He dumped the bodies of Greenleaf and the freaking detective guy, the black guy.
Over that cliff, that was awesome.
Pretty tight. And then freaking, so then it cuts back to him getting home, and freaking he gets a call from Amy. And freaking, but bear with this with the gay lines here, go ahead.
Yeah, he was just like...
She calls, she's like, oh...
Oh no, she's acting like she cares for him and he believes it, and he's just like, do you think things would have ended up different if we had the baby? If the baby survived?
And he's like, Amy, I don't have time for this.
And she was like, he was like, you were never there, Mort.
He's like, I worked at home.
Yeah, but mentally you weren't there. You were worried about me and I believed you. That's what he said.
He's like, wow. He's like, this whole time you told me you were worried about me.
No, then she starts talking about the divorce papers, and then
he's like, wow, this is what you called for? Wow. He's like, the whole time I thought you. He's like, I thought you were actually calling me to talk to me. Wow. He's like, all right.
She's like, I'm over Ted's, and Timothy Hutton walks in, like over her shoulder. No, that's when she goes to leave, and she's like, I'm going up there. Just gonna get this over with.
And Ted's like, you're not going up there. He's like, well, let me go with you.
And he hurts his fist because he punches the freaking...
He's like, oh, dang. He's like one of those
again.
White. He gets pissed and actually hits some like those meatheads, you know?
Even though he's like a sober white guy.
Alright, so anyway, she goes to leave to come up there to talk to him about the divorce papers. Johnny Depp freaking leaves to go pick up the freaking magazine. So he goes in town. And this is when
so then he has another awkward conversation.
No, this is when he sees like
because he's a writer.
No, this is when he sees
doesn't
like
get out much.
You know that like 18-year-old goth chick.
She's like an emo slut.
She's like one of those goth chicks that like your screw.
With the gono. For shizzle.
You talking about gonorrhea?
You gotta say for shizzle because this came out in 04.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
so then the sheriff wants to talk to him.
No, he gets the magazine. He thanks her, and she's like, "I saw what you did." And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, no, they shoot me if you did, because he's talking about the UPS, you know, at the mail people just hand out the UPS stuff, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, so then he talks to the cop. Yeah, the cop's like, yeah.
No, the sheriff wants to talk to him.
He's like, you got a minute? He's like, you got a minute? And he's like, no, not really.
And he just goes to drive away. He's like, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you on the phone.
He's like, I'll call you. And the cop's like, okay. You know, and this is all because, you know, he doesn't want to talk to anyone because, you know, freaking... the hit guy was like, you know, if anyone you talk to will be your responsibility.
So then he goes though, and he opens up the package to look at the story. And
you know, he gets home, he pulls in his driveway, yeah, and it's opened up, and he's like, what the heck already? And he opens it, and he sees it's cut out, and he's like, okay, 82? No, he's like, 81, 99. 81, 99. He's like, he cut it out. He's like, how would he do that? Think about it. He's like, I don't know. And then he gets out of the car.
Oh, and this is the infamous scene that we're gonna talk about when he gets fully consumed by his alter ego.
So freaking talk about it. Don't be one of those kids who say, "Alright, I'm gonna talk about it."
He returns home. Be one of those kids.
Shut the fuck up.
No, and he puts on the hat. And he walks up to the mirror, and it's just shot awesome.
Oh yeah, he's like, why'd
and
you
put in a double of
He's
him.
like talking to himself. This is where it's like the first scene where he's really talking to himself, and he's just like, why did you put on the hat? And he's like, I don't know.
When it reveals to all the
and
people, it doesn't get what's gonna happen, even though it's obvious what's gonna happen.
He's like, maybe he wanted you to put on the hat. And he's like, maybe why would he want me to put on his hat? And he looks in the mirror, and then freaking...
He's turning more and more into Shooter throughout the movie. His alter ego. And he's just like, you almost killed them. He's like, what about your wife and Ted?
He's like, what about all the other... No, he's like, what about all...
Replay the soundtrack so we can talk about this.
He's like, what about all the other coincidences that you've been, you know, not thinking about, like, you know, the bruises or, he's like, Pilgrim, 6-shooter, he's like, Shooter's Bay. He's like, what about all that? He's like, it doesn't make... He's like,
oh, it's bad. No, then he starts barking like a chihuahua to not listen to his alter ego that's trying to take over him.
No, he's like, you almost killed them. You had a gun. And he's talking about the night of the divorce. It cuts the flashback with the gun. And freaking, you know, pointing at Amy and freaking Ted. And freaking, he's like, you were going to kill him. He's like, it was not loaded. And he's like, rah.
He's like, listen to me.
Rah.
Because this is how it's going to happen to
He's like,
people.
this is how it happens to people. This is how it happens.
Listen to me, not him. And he's like, leave me alone.
He's like,
you are alone.
And he picks up the ashtray and throws it. And this is for the people that don't already realize, you know, from the two Johnny Depps, you know, talking to each other. You know, you can already tell that he's crazy, but then they go dramatic when he throws the ashtray and it puts the dent in the wall, and they do the CGI crack of the whole roof.
Talking about they
do
didn't
the crack
do
where it
that,
goes
but
cracks up the
still
wall,
did
and it cracks, and they're like, you know, that's no in the commentary, literally. No,
it's like
in
this
the commentary,
last bit of sanity trying to.
No, in the commentary they say that they're like, yeah, this is for all the people that don't even get that he's already crazy about, you know, the two of them they're talking together. Like, we gotta put this in there where they see the CGI crack in the wall. All right, anyways.
And he's just like, you don't even exist. And he's like, I exist. You
like,
created me. And it flashbacks when he bought the freaking
oh yeah, when
hat.
he puts on the hat, he's like, I'm a dairy farmer from Mississippi.
He's like, what's the real reason I came here? We came here to finish the story.
He's like, you came to fix the story. And he's like, fix the story?
Yeah, so the story, like, slowly, subconsciously, like, took over his mind so much that it, at the brain in, like,
he's
in
like,
an evil way.
There is no John Shooter. You made him up. Until
he became fully consumed by the demon to like fix the story, the ending to the story.
So then he's telling him
is my interpretation.
The pilgrim guy shows up and he's just like, no,
because he's already crazy.
Yeah, the hit guy shows up and he's like, I exist, Mr. Rainey. He's like, what's happening to me? And he's like, I exist, Mr. Rainey. He's like, you made me up. He's like, I exist because you made me up. He's like, I did those things.
Tell us your thoughts on your interpretations of how he went crazy.
He's like, I did those things for you. I did those things for you because you couldn't do them for yourself. He's like, I had the stomach for him. You didn't.
Exactly. He started writing the story. He started writing the story as Shooter, but he didn't finish it as Shooter because he wasn't fully Shooter.
At this time, while Shooter's telling the story, it cuts to all the flashbacks.
So he fucked up the ending because he was more Rainey, sober as hell.
At this time, it cuts to the flashbacks.
And he's only Shooter when he's at a
wow,
drinking
you should keep cutting me off? Fucking asshole.
I'm just saying that for the
record. Alright, so freaking.
First I'm an idiot, then I'm an asshole.
Wow. Alright, so while he's
for the record, everyone.
While the Hick's telling the story, freaking, it's cutting back to the shots of freaking Johnny Depp with the hat on, and he's at Amy's house, freaking burning it down, and freaking he's the one who freaking killed Tom and freaking the Secret Service guy. The secret security guard.
Oh, yeah.
And freaking, so it cuts all those shots while, you know, he's telling him, I am real, you made me up, you know, kill him. And freaking, it's real dope. Anyway, so go on.
So then Amy shows up finally.
And she's like, more?
She sees the empty bottle of Jack.
And she's like, that explains
and
a lot.
And the Doritos.
She's like, that
like he's Kesha or something.
The whole house is in disarray. Freaking chairs are knocked over. Freaking, she makes her way upstairs.
And then she sees the hole in the wall from the ashtray that he threw, and it's only a crack.
And she's like, what
he saw the whole thing break down, of course.
And he's like, she's like, what the heck's been going on here? She goes upstairs.
She slowly walks upstairs. Awesome shots of the cabin throughout, like we were saying.
Oh yeah, it's real dope, the shots in the cabin right here. So then it cuts to freaking her seeing Shooter. Or no, she's looking at,
No, she finds Shooter written everywhere.
She sees the script. She sees the script.
The freaking grips just made... They made the grips, like, do manual labor for, like, hours, like, sketching it into, like, the walls and shit. It was, like, painful as hell. So anyway... And then Mort's behind the door in the Shooter hat.
Yeah, and
it says shoot her.
She's seeing Shooter everywhere on all the walls, scribbled everywhere, and it cuts down the downward camera angle.
That for the record.
No, I'm saying yeah. And then
say Shooter one more time.
The door freaking closes, and then it says shoot her, and then it's like
purple nurple Nate Dunning style. Say Shooter one more
purple
time.
Nurple Nate Dunning films. Check it out. Check it out. All right. So anyways, freaking.
No, these lines are dope. He's holding the scissors, and he's like, "Ain't no Mort here anymore. Mort's dead."
She's like, "Why are you talking like that?"
She's like, Mort, I'm scared, Mort. He's like, you won't be scared for long, it's okay.
Yeah, that part's
he's talking like a hick, like he's freaking,
he's
what's
like, you won't be scared for long, and then he shows her the scissors.
Glover.
No, he lets down her hair, he freaking pulls her thing, so then she runs out and freaking trips and he stabs.
That's when he stabs her with the screwdriver, and it still has freaking Tom Greenleaf's AIDS blood left on it.
Exactly, yeah.
His syphilis from like the 50s.
Then she makes it out there, falls down, and it's like the camera shot where she looks like a little midget.
And she's like,
she's like angle where she's a midget,
and then she's like, "You're Mort Rainey."
She's like, "You're not."
She realizes that he's trying to confuse.
That he's crazy. No,
even though she's like a dumb blonde gold digger,
this is where Ted shows up, and then he hides behind the freaking door in the back, and he comes through.
Oh, he comes up like an airhead.
Ted gets a shovel right to the freaking dome.
Not expecting like an attack.
He falls back on the stairs. It's pretty tight. And then freaking he comes over.
That's when he repeats the ending line of
voiceover. He's like,
in the end, her death will be a mystery, even to me.
And he chops her with the freaking shovel, and then he goes to outside shots of the cabin, like while he's killing her. It's like all the woods, and it's like freaking birds flapping away out of the house.
Next day at the store. He's got braces.
And it's like
the total next day.
It's the emo chick freaking getting groceries.
He starts hitting on her. He's like,
and she's like, I don't need a bag. And totally blows him off and leaves. And then he's like, wow, I'm trying to straighten out all that things in my life. And
he's got
he's
freaking
like, you blow
braces
me off.
like Arthur from King of Queens.
He's got freaking brace face. He's got railroad tracks. Like he's Eric Uthaler in 5th grade.
They made fun of me at the senior center. I hate them.
Alright, so then it cuts back to him home.
Sheriff shows up at his house.
And it's like all fall shots freaking at night. No, all fall daytime, freaking fall leaves.
And he comes up and his door's open. He's like, your door's open? I'm coming in.
Yeah,
like a total white guy.
He's like,
and he comes upstairs and it's freaking Johnny Depp wearing like a Kanye West outfit, like the college dropout.
With his braces and his freaking
polo and a red vest.
And he's like, oh, I didn't hear you, Sheriff. Come on up. So then he's like, alright. He's like, I'm going to be frank with you. He's like, people don't want you freaking shopping in our town. He's like, you can do your shopping in London.
I know what you did, shithead.
Oh yeah, the cop's like, he's like, I'm gonna be frank. I know what you did, shithead. And it's hilarious.
While he's eating corn with the freaking sticks.
And Johnny Depp's like, oh.
If you said
okay,
that.
Okay. And he's like, you can do your shopping in New London. He's like, all right. He's like, you got it.
And
then he starts walking down. And
Johnny Depp's like, the only thing that matters is the ending.
It's the most important part of the story.
And this ending is perfect.
And then the cop's like, what the heck? And then the camera pans out past Johnny Depp, out to the secret window, and then it goes down to the freaking corner, the secret garden, and then it goes to fade out to black. And then it shows Johnny Depp's freaking like brace face teeth freaking eating some corn at the end.
No, it goes down to the...
And you're like, what the...
Let me explain this officially. No, it pans through the secret window, and it goes down to the fall trees on the corn growing in the secret garden. And in the takeout scene, they show the dead bodies of his ex-wife, and her boyfriend. Anyway... So yeah, then it cuts to Johnny Depp like biting down on the corn for no reason. And then at the end credits, we stay at the end of the movie. It's like Johnny Depp like doing improv of like the hick voice. They just like decide to throw it in there.
All the way at the
it's
end
like
of the
an
credits.
inside joke for the crew.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So freaking no, and then freaking.
We got 30 seconds here.
So what'd you think?
Yeah, I love to watch this movie. Seen it like
dope.
10 times.
I love
Secret Window.
You can watch
One
it
of
over
Stephen
and over again.
King's best.
Good thriller. Good.
If you want our final thoughts
best.
for it, ask us. Leave a comment.
So freaking though.
Definitely a 9 out of 10. Gotta
scene.
love the feel. One of the best psychological thrillers.
And the freaking deleted scenes.
Yeah, it shows the dead body. I already said that.
Wow, you got fucking balls.
Mr. Creepshow. He's a dude.
Wow.